Yep. All right. Good morning, everyone. It is 9 a.m. I'm going to call the meeting of the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. It is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Commissioner Waterman, would you lead us in the pledge this morning?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you have a cell phone, if you'd want to silence it, if you need to take a call, if you could step out in the hall. Also, we are streaming live on YouTube. Item number 2, call for public comment. We will still take calls from individuals from the public on items that are not on the agenda. The 2 phone numbers are 605-882-6248 and 605-882-6297. We will address those during the open part of the meeting. Item number 3, conflict of interest items. Are there any for fellow commissioners?
No.
All right, item number 4, action to approve the June 21st, 2022 agenda. Motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 5, action to approve the June 14th, 2022 minutes of Board of Codington County Commissioners.
So moved.
Motion by Johnson, second by Van Duzen. Any comments or questions?
Gable.
Oh, Gable. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Gable. I thought it was Van Duzen too, sorry. We'll move on to monthly reports. We'll start with the facilities manager. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. Okay, we'll start out with the ag building. The AC units are installed, but we're waiting for the electrician to get them all wired up and the furnace is wired up. We purchased a couple speakers and used the existing amplifier and speakers that came from the commissioner's chamber that was sitting in back to kind of improve the sound system in the sale ring, which is significantly
I needed it.
it needed it. So government building currently right now, just basically maintenance. I am trying to set up fire extinguisher training for either July or August. I had talked with the fire department. They were here or coming through doing all the inspections of the extinguishers this past week. So I'm trying to get something lined up for that. Detention center. Some issues. AC is having some major issues. It's really extremely hot over there. I was here yesterday and they were boiling in some of the areas and stuff, having a hard time. The garage door malfunctioned, so it's off its track currently. And minimum security cell door is having issues. They've had numerous things fixing on it. I think it sounds like they have to get a whole new components is the way it sounds like for that.
So it's locking mechanism.
Yep, locking mechanism. But on a good note, dishwasher has been installed.
Good.
And working well. Park. Camping is full swing with a lot of weather improvements greatly. Currently right now, as last night, there was $76,111.08 right now. I don't know why the odd cents. It has to be something to do with the wood sales, I imagine.
Read that number again.
$76,111.08.
Thank you.
We do have probably right now for next year, pre-book about 5 groups right now that have pre-booked for next year and stuff like that, which of course is a group of 8 or more.
Did you get any damage out the park last?
I have not heard. I got to go out as soon as after we're done with the meetings here and so that and run out, get the timesheets from the gentlemen's stuff. So I'll check that out.
Steve, have you been having any complaints about this booking and 8 or more?
Well, I'll turn around and a lot of them are kind of complaining. So that, we've been coming here for 30 to 40 years. That's probably the biggest things. I haven't heard a lot of stuff yet. They're trying to understand how that works. So I'll catch a little more over from what happened this weekend So yeah, from the walls, so.
Sounds good.
Well, the city of Watertown Park and Rec have gifted 18 disc golf baskets from the Slumberland Park to the county. So yeah, so this will help kickstart the disc golf course that Ed planned on. Ed budgeted for some of the money for that, so this will help alleviate quite a bit of that money going
Costs.
towards that.
How much do
cost.
those cost?
About $500 and some a piece new. So,
So the city
yep,
donated those
seen
to
these,
us?
yep, donated them to us.
Where did they remove them from?
From Slumberland, right by the zoo, down in the bottom down there. They put all new baskets down there.
Okay, it's called Slumber.
Yep, I guess. Well, that's what the sign says.
So we appreciate the city giving
Yes,
that donation to
Yep.
us.
and it just happened by chance. I heard about it, so I went over to Terry and asked Terry what would be the logistics, and he says, we'd either have to surplus them or whatever. I'll have it with the meeting and see what they do. And they says, well, we'll just gift it to you. So.
Perfect, thanks.
Well, I'm sure they got lots of life left in.
Oh, they do. There's a couple of them bent up that need some little bit of fixing and so like that. All right, on another note, the Girl Scouts Dakota Horizon, which has the Girl Scout building out there. Well, right now they're drafting a proposal and turning that over to the county. Don't know yet if they want to a purchase price or if they're going to donate. They're working on it. I know that they would like to have, I believe, this done by 1st of September. So I'll be coming forward with that. So, and if that is the case, I am looking at maybe turning that into a family cabin of some sort. It's large enough to do that. So, and then there'll be entities inside for cooking and stuff. So, and then of course, you know, I had just noted about been coming here for 30 to 40 years. So, weed. State road shoulders have been ran. A little over half the townships have been ran for spraying. Cooler temperatures earlier created a delay, of course, in the weed process, like all farmers have delayed all that too. So, and then had a tremendous week, not last week, the week before, pretty well 4 or 5 days of spraying, was probably the most spraying been done in 1 week that probably in the history actually. But of course, last week kind of made up for it for only 1 day of being able to spray. Spring ID tour that was in the Ordway Prairie near Leola area had at least 45 participants. Very good turnout. And of course there, it was a little bit hard to determine some of the plants because of the late delay and so like that, but had a turnout. So right now, as of yesterday, there's a leafy spurge collection that will be conducted just southwest of Codington on Thursday at 1 o'clock. I have a few people that are interested in it. I will give them a call. In fact, one gentleman is up from the Codington area that called. I will be contacted them to inform them. I sent it out to both KWAT and KXLG is the way out for this announcement for the beetle collection. As far as one being conducted here, we're going to see about maybe one after the 4th of July. I am going to be gone next week on vacation, so it kind of messes things up for this area. So we'll try to see about doing one, but no guarantees. My encouragement would be is to go to this one. The collection that was down in McLean, South Dakota here a week ago was a very slow pour collection. The gentleman that went up and checked it yesterday said he had quite a few beetles, even in the windy conditions, which is usually abnormal. So, and then this afternoon, Paul Johnson from SDSU, he was a former manager here and extension agent. He is retiring from SDSU. It will be at Raven Precision Building from 1:30 to 3:30 if somebody plans on attending. And West Nile, traps will be getting set out this week. Haven't heard too much yet of anybody being bugged by mosquitoes yet. It's been pretty low, which is kind of surprising as the heat we had, but that might change. And so that shortly, little shot of rain last night might encourage them mosquitoes to.
Too windy.
You got a good point too, Myron. It has been very windy, so
Yeah.
they don't like coming out when
No.
it's breezy, so.
Nope. And it blows all night.
All right, that's pretty well wraps that up that I have. Any other notes?
No, but we can move on then to item number 9.
Thank you,
I believe that's
Steve.
probably yours.
Yep.
Action to approve the purchase of a brush bucket for the county's skid steer equipment.
Yes, this item, I did not budget for it this year, but with all the dew of all the trees that we've had, the handling those, I should say those, logs, those huge logs, those pieces of those trees and stuff like that, it's very hard to handle it with what we have. I do have some existing money that will be coming from because of the, I budgeted this year to had done chip sealing, which that got paid off of last year. So there should be some extra funds in the budget to be able to.
Was that for the Memorial Park?
This is for Memorial Park. It will be utilized. It could be utilized for the highway department too, for brush and so that. And it also has a rake tooth on it. So if they need to pick up rocks and stuff for the highway department also, so.
I'm moved to approve that. It's a slick outfit. I know that.
Motion by
Second.
Johnson, second by Waterman. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. All right, thanks, Steve.
Thank
You'll
you.
Stick around. All right. All right, we'll move on then to the highway superintendent monthly report.
Good morning.
Rick.
Morning, Rick.
First, I want to start off with last Wednesday, we were chip sealing south of State Highway 212 on County Road 3, and our chipper broke down. And we had 2 loads of oil to shoot off, and I got a hold of the superintendent in Hamlin County. And within an hour and a half, he had their chipper up there to help us get the oil sprayed off. He brought a couple guys to help on their chipper. Their chipper's old, and it was greatly appreciated by me.
Good.
So I owe them a big thank you. Like I said, we're chip sealing. We're gonna chip seal everything south of 212 and east of State Highway 81, which would be County Road 35, which would be 464th Avenue. 76 was 460th Avenue. 9A, 449th Avenue, and 9-4 is 460th Avenue. And then County Road 20, which is all the way from 81 to the county line going east, which is County Road 20-5, 6, and 7, which would be 176th Street. When we get all that done, we'll be moving back towards town. We'll be doing 4th Avenue from the Derby Downs corner all the way over to where it dead ends into, what do they call that? South Lake Drive on the west side of Compesca. And then we'll be doing part of 14th Avenue and then 11th. It'd be 10th Street right by our shop. But that's what's planned to be chip sealed this year.
How many miles does that consist?
Roughly 37 and a half.
And you were able to get parts for ours?
Yep, ours is running already. Well, I shouldn't say it's running. It's back together. We didn't have oil today with the weather, and trucking is already become an issue.
It's just, no, it's, but at least we were able to get parts for it.
Yeah, they got us the parts and we had it back together late Thursday afternoon. Our mechanic stayed a little late to get it put together.
section of 14th Avenue that you're talking about, is that from the railroad tracks west to Highway 20?
Basically, I'll do a little past the railroad tracks where
Mhm.
the original line is about halfway up the hill.
Okay,
And I'll
Okay.
chip seal that just because that was part of our, when we repaved that
Agreement.
a few years ago. And that's something that the city will be taking over from the railroad tracks going east. That there's roughly 300 yards there, if it's
Yeah.
that many. But being it's annexed on both sides there, that will become the city property. But like I said, I'll chip seal it up to where it ended before, just so that gets done.
I'm still getting a lot of calls. In fact, I had one, a lengthy one this morning from the residents along 14th. That's there for the water. Now, they open up, actually, the city apparently dug a ditch, so drain off the National Guard pad or that
Yep.
pond that got into their ditches over there.
Mhm.
It's really a mess.
Yep.
And
well,
then
it's not a new problem.
it's not a
No.
new problem. It's just getting worse. But the people are really getting upset. The lawns and those ditches have always been manicured and now they're full of water and junk. There's a lot of stuff that's blowing in there and then they look across the street and they see all the dirt being hauled in, building the that area to the south. Where they're hauling all the fill in there.
Yep.
And it just looks like it's gonna get worse. And I know we've talked about this many times,
We dropped the culvert over there last year, wasn't it last year?
Yeah,
You guys
their
did
water
that?
moves out of there. It's just slow going. It's not like you flush the toilet. It goes
It's really.
and it's 150% better than it was a year ago. Cause we cleaned that ditch all out. We lowered the culverts a little bit. There's lines in the bottom of in that ditch that our guys stood up to their knees in mud digging down so we wouldn't hit anything. That's where we came up with the elevation we did on that ditch. I'm not gonna hit any lines. This sounds mean, but that water they're pumping out of the ground into the ditch.
It's coming out of their basements, a
Yeah.
lot of it. But a lot of it's coming out of but what they're looking at is all the water that's coming from the National Guard.
Yeah.
They have
area.
a holding pond up there.
That's a
don't they? It's
holding
Yeah,
pond,
holding
and
pond.
that's,
That's beyond me. That has something to do with the city and the state.
that was
You know.
a real screw up there, I tell you.
Well, that pond is really not very deep.
No, it's just a retention pond is what it's supposed to be
Yeah.
after a heavy rain. And then it should evaporate and sink into the ground. But with the water table as high as it is, it can't do that. And, like I said, the ditches are cleaned out, their water's running out of there. But I can't make it run faster. So that's another issue with another department.
Well, the city, the National Guard, now you're getting into state, federal and the whole thing. But they've got so much concrete out there
Yeah. And nowhere
that
to
is
go.
not running, that everything runs off.
Yep. And
They're
that's,
not controlling their water.
yep, and that's what the retention pond was for, with the
Yeah,
cement,
it's
that
not
was
working.
meant to go in there. But
Does that overflow evidently? That retention.
That
pond?
retention pond's about an acre and there's about 10 acres of concrete. That's the problem.
Yep, and
That doesn't, don't hold it.
What is it, about 3 feet deep
At the most.
at the
Yeah.
most, plus, and forgetting about what was silted in there in the
Yeah.
meantime.
yeah,
It's almost like our river running through the park over here.
Yeah.
It used to be 10 feet deep and now it's 2 feet deep and we wonder why we're getting flooding.
But it's
Well,
it's an issue. It's a
right,
Problem.
but we
Yep.
have tried to fix what we could do as far as the county, we went in there and if
You know,
there's
and-
lines down in the bottom of the ditch, I don't know, they'd have to be removed from there in order to go any deeper, but I don't even know if you can legally go any deeper.
You talk about lines, what type of lines are you talking about?
there's gas lines, there's
Utility.
utility lines going to those homes across the road, and we've made so the surface water leaves there again, they're pumping out groundwater. You know, we're getting into a whole ball of wax here that the county shouldn't be involved in. Like I said, we cleaned all that out, so the water does leak. You go out there right now, the water's running down the ditch and it's headed to the Big Sioux River. Like I said, there,
Have you ever heard of a slow boat to China? That's a very slow boat to China.
Hmm.
But, you know, and I understand, but if you live there and you have to look at the mess, that, you know, stirs people up in a hurry.
yes, but we also have many miles of road out in the county
I know
that are
better
full
about
of water that we can't do absolutely anything about.
As far as that development, I don't know what they're doing on the corner, but we have no control over that either. If they fill that in, that's according to city regs, I'm guessing how much they can put in there, so.
Is there a possibility of, you know, there's a lot of dirt that's over there. It's all dirt and stuff like that, but is that possibility of looking into cleaning that out on a yearly basis?
What are you
That,
cleaning
you know, where
out?
it runs down to the Big Sioux, because it's obviously gets silted in also.
Are you talking about a 14th?
Yes.
The
There.
ditch, like on
And
our
so-
side.
Like I said, we just cleaned that out. So, and the water's moving.
Yeah.
The elevation of the culverts, what comes across County Road 14, which is 14th Avenue. All the culverts, except for the one furthest down, are about the same elevation.
Sure.
So it comes, they pump the water into the ditch, into the culvert, and it runs to the south,
Right.
and then it goes to the east. And it's all cleaned out. We can't clean it out anymore.
Okay, but my, not being critical in any way, just a question. Once it gets across 14th on the south side, from there to the Big Sioux,
Yeah.
that gets silted in every year. Is it something that maybe we should look at, possibility of cleaning out?
And we
every
look
year
at
or
it to
2
make sure the
years?
water's moving, and the water's moving, so,
So if it
Yeah.
isn't, then you guys go in and clean it out.
yeah.
So
Basically,
there
you
is
go
kind
in
of
and
a
dredge it out.
Yeah, like I
I
said,
mean,
we
that
can only
takes a
go so
lot of
deep.
time and a lot of money to do that.
I don't want to hit any lines that are in, there, you know, so.
All right. Do you have anything
Yeah,
else on your
I have a little
report?
more.
Okay. Go ahead.
How about giving the whole road to the city?
There you go. There you go. I have no option against that.
Thank you.
All right, the DOT with the federal government, the federal government has loosened up more money for bridge repair. So hopefully we'll be able to see some of that. I don't know what will be available for us, but I'll talk with Mark Junker, our bridge inspector, and share what information I have with him and what he has, and we'll go from there. Okay, with all the wind, the guys are out this morning. I know there's one tree down by Grover, some west Memorial Park that will have to get off the road. I didn't receive any phone calls last night. I noticed in town, there's quite a few. There's a great big one just west of the courthouse here, a half a block it wasn't in the road, but laying in somebody's yard. So I'm sure there will be plenty of them.
There's a lot of trees that are actually down throughout the city and power lines out at the lake, and we had a pontoon that blew off a trailer over on Highway 212. I mean, so we did have a house out by the lake that did suffer some structural damage through the storm. So there's quite a bit actually that happened last night. So I think most of it was just high winds as a result of high winds that came through.
Yeah.
Torrential rain that we got for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, because I only wound up with like 2.5 tents at my place. But
Yeah.
that was enough. Our guys are also in between chip sealing and other things. We have soft spots on our gravel roads that we're still working on that we just can't. The groundwater is there, so it keeps everything soft, you know, and the guys try to get in the fields and their semis and the big equipment. You know, it's hard to keep things together. Hopefully they'll get everything planted here shortly, and we'll be able to start working on some more of that. So I guess that's all I have for a monthly report.
It's almost an impossible task.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Townships are facing the same problem.
Yes, they are.
In certain areas, yes. All right, item number 7, action to award a bid for road reclamation and micro seal project.
Okay, not sure if we can award it today. There'd be an extra $420,000 to pave from 212 north of Tinkertown on County Road 23. The bid came in at $1,290,092.80. That was just to get it all ready. And over by Tinkertown, that would be blottering that section of road and leave that till next year. There'd be an extra $420,000 to pave that this year. I do not have that much in my budget this year to pave that because this whole thing is way bigger than what I had budgeted for. Because it blew up over the winter or last summer after my budget was in. So I wanted to let you guys know that. If there would be any way we could pave that this year, or you guys would want to wait till next year to put that on next year's budget.
420,000 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's pushing $500,000.
Yes,
If we
it is.
blotter it this year, what would be the cost of the blotter versus the 400?
That would be that $1,290,092. That was why it was bid the way we bid it. So
Yep, it's so it's another 400 and some thousand.
yep,
on top of that.
420,000 to pave it. So. But I wanted you guys to know that, to see if there was anything we could do, or just wait till next year and just go with the original or the smaller amount of 1.2.
Cindy?
Is that 420? Is that a complete rebuild then?
Yes.
I'd
Yeah,
have
because
to
it
look
will
and see
be,
what kind of surplus cash that the highway has. I'm gonna have to estimate revenues for the rest of the year to see where we think we'll be at the end of the year and if there's enough surplus cash in Rick's budget to cover it,
So we could put it
it'll take
on,
me a while.
yeah, how about to put it on for next
Next week
week?
is
And then
fine.
you can give us that answer, then
Yeah.
we can decide, so then he'll know which direction to go on.
Okay.
Which,
This was with Dunnick.
yes, and that would be a total reclamation. It'll all be done except for the asphalt if we go with the first 1.2. And then it'd be 1.7.
just figure that out.
So what was
Yes.
the total length of that project? The
Those
mile,
two
a
together,
mile.
yeah.
1
Yeah,
mile.
1
Yeah.
mile. Yeah.
And that's same way with the one up here by the bus barn. They
Yeah.
were each 1 mile. So,
It just goes to show you how expensive it is
Yeah.
to maintain and build roads. That's 1 mile for 1.7.
well, no,
If we pave that,
that's 2 miles of reclamation and 6 miles of micro seal.
okay,
Yep, not just 1 mile.
okay, but it's still expensive per mile.
But the price of asphalt, what we did, the big project last year, is over $40 a ton more than what it is this year.
And who knows what it'll be next year.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to let you guys know, you guys can make the decision whether you want to go ahead with it or just go with what, to get it ready. We'd have it done next year, so.
Okay, well, Cindy will get us that information.
Well, okay, I
and-
can tell you right now. You know, we've decided to use the ARPA money for county salary expense. So Rick's salary for last month was just over 104,000. So what we're going to do is next week we have a formal budget hearing, so we can use that ARPA money. So basically, I will be transferring 104,000 per month into Rick's cash to, with the ARPA money.
So then we save that.
So, yeah, I mean, 4 months, 5 months,
Got that.
you've got an extra $500,000 there.
Let's find out for sure if we can do it.
Oh, I know I can. I mean, that is, I
We're
mean,
doing it.
we
did
are
that
doing it. We just
resolution.
have to have the formal budget hearing and then we've been discussing this at our spring workshop and that's procedure is just do an operating cash. We have to still show that the expense came out of Rick's budget for salary, but then I'm allowed to transfer cash into Rick's fund, which
To cover the salary.
we will have to have a formal supplement to his budget at the end of the year then, but we will have the cash to support it.
Yeah.
So,
Would the contractor be willing to work with something like that? You can't answer that.
Work with what?
You know, would this be a delayed form of payment to the
Nope,
contractor?
nope,
We don't have
Okay.
to.
nope, it
Okay.
won't be. Nope.
I
So-
guess I wouldn't have heartburn with if
I
we
mean,
think that that's
that
gonna
is
work.
one thing that's going to, you know, we're using the ARPA money. So all general fund salaries, I will give operating cash to the general fund. Rick's got his own fund, so.
I would like to get this project done
Right.
sooner than later. And if we
And I'll
wait,
look at it this week and see what they
It's gonna
have.
cost
for
us more
surplus
money.
cash in the first place.
Mhm.
Sure.
So we'll
Yeah.
just put it on next week
Yes, yep.
and we'll have firmer numbers, but it looks like, because we don't know what will happen next year.
Yeah,
Could
Rick's
be,
monthly
might not be able to get it done.
$4,000. So there's, you know, I'll be transferring cash and then we just, it's a simple matter of having a formal budget hearing to supplement it.
Yep, and there'll be extra savings throughout the year on things that we didn't purchase or we didn't do that was in my budget. So
Would that project possibly get done this year?
yes, it will get done this year.
It would get done.
I hate to, if we can do that, I would like to see us move forward with that. So come next week and
Yep.
have firmer numbers and
Mhm.
I would too, just for the fact that if I push something till next year, I don't know what's gonna happen next year.
yeah, the
Cost
cost,
would
the
increase.
cost is gonna go up.
You
is
know, what's gonna
happen.
fall apart
We have a
next
bid
year.
right now that we know,
Yes,
Yeah.
so,
Yes.
right,
So-
okay.
right. And the thing is those ARPA dollars, I mean, that's a,
And I didn't even. think
One
about it
time
before. It just popped into my
Yeah,
head.
that's good.
all right,
thank you.
Good, good.
we'll put it back on then.
All right, that's all I have. So,
All
Thank you.
right,
okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Item number 8, action to declare property taken by tax deed proceeding surplus to be sold, advertise a tax deed auction notice to bidders and appoint property appraisers.
So we have, the treasurer has taken a piece of property by tax deed proceedings in the city of Watertown. So in order to auction it off, which we have done previously, we need to, as Brenda just said, we need to declare the property surplus, advertise the tax deed auction, and appoint property appraisers. And I believe Carol is working on appointing, we usually use the same three property appraisers, if that works. Yep. So I've scheduled the sale for the 26th of July. Double check that, yep. In the commission chambers. So we just need to take these 3 actions today in one motion.
So moved.
Motion by Johnson,
Second.
second by Waterman.
And I do need to mention, there is another piece of property on this notice, and this is a piece we took a few years ago that never sold. So we will try and sell this again. I think it's basically a duck pond out by the interstate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that
Remember
one.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So we never got, we were allowed to, after it didn't sell at auction, we were allowed to accept a sealed bid for a year after the auction, and we never got one, so.
This is that little piece that nobody can build on.
It's a,
Ken,
yeah.
Well, how many acres is it? Does it even have that in there?
Doesn't have the acres, amount of acres,
Let's see.
the triangular shape.
Oh, here, I probably have it on this. I have another printout here.
It's meets and bounds.
0.14 acres.
0.14.
0.14.
That's this one?
That's the Elmira Township
Elmira,
one.
okay.
Yep. The other one is the one that Carol just took, and that is
Okay.
I believe, a bare lot. From what
Lot
I can see,
company,
it's a
yeah.
bare lot, no buildings on it.
All right.
Hmm.
So we have a motion and a second. Ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? That motion carries. All right, moving on to item number 10, action to approve claims for payment.
None today,
All right, how about budget supplements, 11?
nothing,
Nothing for,
I had nothing for the rest.
okay.
You have everything that, yeah.
All right, public notices, possible forum of commissioners. Anyone have anything? There is a Republican convention this weekend out at the Met Center. There probably could be a quorum of us at some of those events. LEPC, that would be just Troy and I, or Charlie too. So there could be a quorum of us at that
Thursday.
Thursday at noon. I don't have anything else. Does anyone else?
What's this Thursday at noon?
That's
LEPC.
LEPC.
Meeting. It's a glacial.
Is there a STIP meeting at First District?
Yes, tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
10:30.
I have a nice.
Still-
And then maybe today, if any of us would happen to go down to Paul's retirement.
I plan on going down.
Yeah, for 1:30 to 3:30. All right, any old business? Any new business? Anything for the open? We have a reason to go into executive session under personnel.
Do we? Oh, we do.
We do.
Okay.
So I'd look for a motion and a second to go into executive session.
Move to approve.
Motion by
I'll
Van,
second.
and second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are in executive session. Natalie.